At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.
And welcome back to another episode of Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance, and I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot. Smarter mortgage matching, available on the Apple Store and Google Play. And today being just early on in January of 2026, looking back a couple years, it seems as though I've had this similar conversation with the same two gentlemen talking about business planning, kicking off your 2026 and what we do, and maybe some suggestions on what you should do to kickstart your business in 2026. So without further ado, let me introduce my guests today. I've got AJ Reygadas. AJ, how are you?
Good, man. Happy to be here.
Absolutely.
And, happy to kick it with y'all.
Yeah. What do you think about the new studio?
Dude, it's dope.
Not bad, huh?
It is nice.
Very good.
Real
This
nice.
is a DIY. Is that do it yourself? No, DIY.
You could have fooled me.
Whatever.
No, you're right. DIY.
Okay, good. Like, dang. And my second guest, one of my favorite guests to have on the pod, Dylan Shively. How you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm
Absolutely.
good. How are you?
Doing well. So as we kick this thing off, we're gaining plenty of new subscribers, new listeners. Matter of fact, JC, if you could throw that reference up there just so we can thank everybody. Guys, gals, we're at 36.7 thousand subscribers and growing. So that being the case, some folks tuning in may or may not know who you guys are. So briefly, if you could, just tell us a brief overview of who you are and why people should be even listening to what you got to say.
Yeah, sure. I'll start off. My name's AJ Reygadas, born and raised here in San Antonio. Been in real estate for now, 15 years. And started a brokerage. Next month will be 5 years that I started a brokerage, and now we've franchised it out. We got 3 different franchises going. So just running, kicking ass.
Doing what we do. That's
Doing
right.
what we do.
Yes, because the world is not enough. And congratulations on
Thanks,
the franchising and branching out, man.
Thank you.
That's a big accomplishment.
Appreciate it, man.
The start of something even bigger than what you already have. That's big.
For sure, man.
So
For sure.
Dylan, tell me, who are you, bro?
So first, I like just talking about bringing the family into it, because I feel like even though we're going to talk about business, something that everybody can relate to is you have somebody that you care about or somebody that cares about you.
Yeah.
Right. So I love giving recognition to my wife, 3 kids, even my parents and sister that live here. Like, we got the core family, which is always like my piece. But on the business side, why I guess I have some credentials or credibility, I built a credit repair company 9 years ago, still active and running today. We're all over. We operate in all 50 states, helped now over 24,000 people.
Boom.
So, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so that was a big deal. The secondary part is on the media side, right? So we got to talk about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
So I've been helping a lot of people with media production, because you get into a stage where you've been doing something so long, and yes, things change, but it's so adaptable. And if your systems and processes and people are dialed in, it gives you some free time, which is what I was looking for.
Right.
And so we got to hang with the family a lot more, take some vacations, do some things, and enjoy the fruits of the labor. Right. And so like we were growing, and then we got to hang out for a little bit, but now I'm back into the stage of growing. And so all the ideologies, like the thoughts, the processes that worked for one business, I was curious if it worked for a second. And so with the media business, we're doing really, really well. And ticket prices are different. So hitting certain revenues, and, it happens faster because I've been down the path. So I haven't just done it for one business. I'm now doing it for a second one.
Yeah.
And I waited 7 years to do it because I'm 2 years into that now. So I waited 7 years before I dipped into something second.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome. So,
and what it is to me is your expression outwards of the passions that you personally have. It's similar to you, AJ, your passion to help people. Well, you decided to open a brokerage and instill those things in your folks. Same with you. You created something, put it on autopilot and went, you know what? I've got a passion to do this. Let's see if that works. And I'm not going to say it's in our DNA because it's not. It is in who we are. Mindset, the drive that we have that's very rare in many cases, but not as rare as people say. It's just a lot of folks out there that have our similar mindset in today's world. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, haven't had the opportunity to go through all the landmines that we have. Does that make sense?
For sure.
So that's also another reason why we are consistent with this show is giving them as much as possible of real life experiences, real life needle moving activities, things of that nature that somebody can take and go, you know what, maybe I can try that. And those of you listening, that's what this is for. You find something in here. And I said it before, I'll say it again. If you stole it from me or any of the guests, you probably stole it twice, you know, because we got it from somebody at some point.
Actually, I have something really quote wise. So the first thing that you guys can steal, this is by far one of my favorite. I'm a huge quotes guy. Like I like taking big thoughts and just like kind of finding the quote for it. That makes sense. So one of my favorite ones relevant to that topic is you're the most qualified to help the person you used to be.
Ooh, I like that.
So
so true.
So in relevance to what you're saying, audience, the reason we're here and giving you some credentials is not to say, look at what we accomplished or look at what we did. It's more of the inspiration to say, look what we accomplished. So if you want to ask us something, or, you know, as you start to listen to what we're going to say today, you know, you're hearing it from people that actually did it. Right. So
done it.
like, you know, the backstory of like, I was my own first client with credit. Right. So then once I learned that I helped other people, right. And then same thing with media. I had people, I paid people, I built it, I've hired people, and then I wind up being hands-on. So you're the most qualified to help the person you used to be. And that's why it's awesome to have guests that have done these things. So guys, if you're listening, you know, we've done it. And so everything we're going to give you today, even in reference, go back to the 2024 one. We just realized we did. You know, so you are the most qualified to help the person you used to be. So you have to do these things because one day you have to give an answer to somebody, and you should have the right one from experience, not just theory.
That's right. And I think to go hand in hand with that, in order for someone to take this advice, suggestions, scenarios, experiences the right way, I think it's best for you to check your ego at the door. And why I say that is we're not here saying we're better than you.
No.
We're further along than you. We are in different shoes and have experienced different things in the realm that we're speaking about. No one in this conversation is going to tell you something that they haven't actually gone through and try and build some kind of fluff or story of who they are. We're raw. This is who we are. And we're here to help if possible and get a little bit of therapy in the process. You know? So let's kick this thing off. And now that we are in 2026, we've got a couple of forces that are working against us. Interest rates. We've got the perception of media that they're instilling in our borrowers, sellers, et cetera. That goes a long way when you're talking about buyer-seller sentiment. There's been a lot of folks that are tired of having their home sit on the market, so they pulled it off. And in my opinion, those are the folks that didn't really need to sell. They wanted to sell. So first question here, what feels different about real estate at the beginning or as we enter into 2026 versus the last 2 to 3 years?
And
I'll ask you, AJ.
Yeah, man, I think it's a mixture of things. It's, you know, of course there's that easy given, which is what everyone is experiencing right now, is that optimistic mindset, right? Like everyone has optimism at the beginning of the year. I think that it's also tying into knowing that, okay, maybe things have settled down a little bit more on the political side. Now it's like, okay, now we get to really focus without all the loud noise, or maybe not as much loud noise as there was maybe the past. And so, there's different things that play into role. You know, rates dropped a little bit. You know, market's steady, or for the most part, we're not seeing any big fluctuation of up and down. It's still just So it's a multitude of things that I think are all contributing. And then also, I think that we're seeing too a lot of agents that are in our industry, specifically when it comes to real estate, a lot of agents that are now kind of just finally settled into like, okay, this is what the market's going to be like, versus getting in 2021 or 2020 and then experiencing what the hell happened.
Yep.
Now it's like, okay, we're familiar with what's happened 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Now this is what it is.
That's right.
And we've just been able to steady pace now go forward.
And that perspective is coming from those that decided to stay in our industry.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So they've gotten the opportunity to see things happen, whether they were closing transactions or others, colleagues were closing transactions, guaranteed they were talked about.
Yeah.
And something that I've said, and I'm going to continue to say it just about in every podcast, is the folks that are buying right now are the ones that could not buy in 2020, 2021, 2022, because those that did, they did buy.
Yeah.
You know, they're not worried about the things that are there working against them, so to speak. The second thing that I want to add to that is, as we go into 2026, I'm still hearing a lot of folks talking about interest rates are going to drop. Interest rates are going to drop. Well, newsflash, guys, studying economics and doing the nerd research that I do, I've got a pretty bold prediction. Rates are probably going to go up again. And the reason being is our economy is doing very well. The jobs report that came out recently, it was skewed a little bit because there were some missing data, but it was better than anticipated.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the next one's going to be similar to that. And it's also showing good signs of our economy, USA. You can bitch about it all you want, but it's a good thing for most people.
For sure.
That being said, if rates were to drop, just that basic concept of economic supply and demand, we're going to see property values go up. We're going to see those bidding wars again. So it's almost in agents' advantage for them to not go up so that they can then stay in the mindset that they're in.
Yeah.
I feel as though if rates start to drop, they're going to switch all the way thinking that that's the gold, and it's not. You've got to continue to educate. You've got to continue to paint the picture of, you're buying this for equity. You're buying this for memories. You're buying this, etc., not to make money. Your primary. Now, if you're talking investment, investors don't care that the rates are higher right now, by the way. We get to write that stuff off or price it in, you know? So AJ, Dylan, what do you think is different about this year as we're going into it than the past couple of years?
So I've seen a huge focus on people getting, now that like the economy is getting a little bit better and people are getting, to AJ's point, settled in. Well, now they're starting to think a little more clearly. Right. And so like how you guys were just talking about, okay, you're going to have a pro and con either way. Yeah. Right. But people's mindset is starting to develop a little bit better.
Correct.
So I think more people are understanding like, okay, do I want to battle the high interest rate that I could always refinance later if it happens? Or do I want to overpay for a home? Because I feel like that you're a little more stuck at that point. What you paid is what you paid.
That's right.
Right. And interest rate is good, but even though we're talking about homes, let's talk about the household once you're in there. What do your finances look like? What are you paying for your cars? When's the last time you shopped for your stuff? Do you have a savings? What's going on there? So I think people are getting a little more conscious of like, because you may have seen it. People are talking about like, this was like the end of like the snake year or whatever. And now we're like into that horse, right? So it's like shifting where the economy is going to be better and whatever. And I think, or I hope, that more people are understanding, and whatever that they believe in, you just got to focus on the everyday stuff that's going on, because who cares what the TV says? Yeah. Who cares what's going on with the what's going on in your household?
Yeah.
Are you mentally good? Are your kids taken care of? Are you financially prepared to make a move if said opportunity shows up?
Yeah.
Like, this is never going to happen, but okay, let's say you had an opportunity for 30 days to go get a 2.9%. Are you ready?
Good point.
Like if said opportunity arose, are you ready right now? And so I think the focus should shift on, let me be prepared for when the thing happens, because most people are excited and they tell you, I'm waiting for this to happen.
Oh yeah.
But then I'm sure you guys have called those people and they were not ready or prepared or qualified to do so.
Yeah. I'll even give you a very layman example of that. AJ, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Buyer sees a home online that they want to put an offer in on. Realtor says, "Are you pre-qualified?"
Right.
No. Okay. Well, then let's start with that, and then start falling in love with the home.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, more times than not, it happens the other way around.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
So my ultimate thing that I hope that people take that are listening is, I understand if you want to wait, right? Like I have no financial benefit if you wait or whatever. That's your guys' realm, right? But just speaking from this side, I understand if you want to wait for whatever reason, and I can give you all the reasons that I think that you should or should not wait.
Yeah.
However, I would ask you to shift your focus to say, have a real conversation inside your household, single, married, whatever, it doesn't matter. Inside your household, you should be having a real conversation that say, okay, if I'm legitimately waiting, what am I doing to prepare for when I'm ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they just defer and procrastinate, and it's easier to tell you, hey, AJ, I'd really like to go see a place, but I really want to wait for the rates to go down, because they don't know how to effectively communicate what the real problem is.
Absolutely.
And so they don't give you guys the fair opportunity. So we have to be open and comfortable with saying, I'm not in the best spot right now. Right. So even if the opportunity arose right now, I don't have the ability to do it. Because what happens if you were to go back and say, well, hey, this new build is actually giving us a buy down, and if you put X amount up front, you can get the rate. You ready to go? Well, I don't have the funds to do that. Okay, so now we're at the core problem.
That's right.
So let's talk about the preparation. I'm okay if you want to wait, but you need to be explicitly in detail. Show me what you're doing to prepare for when this said time comes.
Yes. Yeah. And that is actually a good transition to the next question that I had, which is, what is working now that agents are ignoring? And that is an example of what something I have discovered in the last actually 2 years that is working, but many are still not doing it. Get to the root problem.
Right.
Get on the phone, get on a Zoom call with your buyer, whatever the case, and have that high value, high trust conversation so that you guys can level and get to the real root of why they want to buy, why they want to sell, what their real pain points are. Is it really the interest rate, or is it really the down payment? Is it really, a lot of folks are scared to ask those real questions.
Yeah. And you know, that's where I think that when it comes to our industry with real estate agents, you know, I can't stress enough on our agents, at least, is that still to this day is like, it all comes down to your buyer consultation, your listing presentation. Right. And I'll go in deeper than that is, you know, the other day I was having a conversation with one of the agents, one of our newer agents, and he had mentioned to me about a buyer that couldn't get approved. Right. And that a lead he got couldn't get qualified. And I was like, well, did you do the buyer consultation with them? And he was like, well, no, they didn't qualify. I'm like, dude, do it anyway, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, get them in the door and sit them down and still get that consultation
because
going.
We need to be able to, as an agent in that case scenario, be able to explain to another lender why they didn't qualify.
Yeah.
That helps tremendously because now I'm not looking at all of this. I'm looking at this to come up with the solution. Come up with the game plan, you know, and that to agents, that's pipeline, right?
Sir.
And so, and it's building. I try to get the agents to look at it also as in like, hey, just because they didn't qualify, like doesn't mean you can't get referrals from them. And while you set up a game plan for them over the next several months or whatever it may be, time that they need to be able to get in that position to buy, you can still build the rapport with them and get in front of them now, start relating with them and getting to know them. So that way they turn into a raving fan along the way and already sending you family and friends, you know, that you can help along the way in the meantime, you know. Absolutely. And so it's the same thing that I would do back when I was in production. I would do listing appointments where they weren't traditional listing appointments. Excuse me. What I mean by that is anytime that I spoke to a potential seller and they said, yeah, we're going to sell, but probably not till the summer or not till the end of the year, I would say, look, I still want to sit down and meet with you. Yes. I would love to come and take a look at your home. I'm not going to bring a listing agreement. I'm not going to bring my for sale sign. I'm not going to try to persuade you into selling your home now.
That's right.
But at least let me come in and set up
how to get your home ready or contribute to giving you
Yeah.
ideas on how to get your home ready over the next several months. So that way, when that time comes, you're ready to go and you're not scrambling at the last minute.
Absolutely.
And there's multiple reasons for that, right? One reason is, yes, let me lead with some value with this potential client that can become a client of mine, but also it's getting my foot in the door. It's being first, right?
That's right.
NAR always gives that statistic that most sellers end up hiring the first agent they meet with, and so I want to be that first agent,
That's right.
and so getting my foot in the door first, even though they're looking 6 to 12 months from now, that gives me an opportunity to get my foot in the door now, start building rapport, lead some value by getting them ideas on how to get the home ready. And now it's just up to me once a month to check in on them. And it's not a check-in like, hey, you ready to sell yet?
Nope.
No, it's a, hey, did you touch up on that paint that
That's
I mentioned
right.
to you in the living room? And now you're getting that warm fuzzies, that friendship going where 9 out of 10 times whenever that time came when they were ready to sell, it wasn't a, hey, AJ, we want to meet with you now to interview you. It was a, hey, AJ, can you come take a look at the house to see if you feel like it's ready to go?
You
and
now
so-
have become the expert
Yes.
in their eyes.
Mhm.
And you mentioned it, but I'm going to re-mention it. Adding value. Value doesn't necessarily mean I've got to get you to the finish line tomorrow.
No.
It is building upon building that value in their eyes, but first understanding what is the value that you see valuable.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, where are you going?
Yeah.
I also love the concept that you're talking about. While you're helping someone get that ready, they're going to send you referrals.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, on the lending side, it's a little different because if, let's say, and this has happened to me recently, you help someone fix their credit. We're helping somebody go through the process. They send you 2 referrals of folks. Well, the 2 referrals, they close before they do.
Yeah.
So you better do a damn good job of helping them.
Yeah, you got to do a good job.
Absolutely. That's kind of what it boils down to. So is there anything that you guys would like to add that is working now or that you've discovered that is working now that other agents or many agents are totally ignoring at the moment?
Man,
That's a tough one.
I actually have an interesting one. Now, this is from the media perspective.
By all means, yeah.
Right?
And why that's relevant is every single agent on the block had better adopt some form of media education,
for sure.
or
Yeah.
they're not going to continue growing their book of business
Yeah.
in 2026.
No, you're going to get blockbuster.
You go where the
Right?
fish
Yeah.
are.
So on the media side, and I've been preaching this heavy, and I hope even heavier now because to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
If they don't know you exist, it doesn't matter, right? And sometimes you'll call them like the silent agent or like, you got to let people know, right? Well, it doesn't matter. And I'll take it deep for a second because sometimes it needs to in order for them to hit it.
Right.
A lot of times they won't create the media because they don't like how they look that day. They don't like how they sound. They don't like their voice. They have all the insecurities. I would argue, how egotistical and how selfish is it that if you really want to take that family out of the apartment to the home to get their kids in a better school, all the reasons you say you love helping people, how selfish, ignorant, and egotistical is it that because you don't like the way you present yourself, which you're in full control of,
Sir.
you're not going to go help more families because you don't like how you came out on a video.
Yeah.
I agree. Because you're making it about you, not
Instead,
the
correct.
people that you say you care about or you want to help.
And then here's the second part for the media side. Listing videos are cool. I think we're starting to get numb to all the crazy transitions and all the things.
Well, pause there because I think.
Oh, damn it.
Hold on, wait, I'm going to throw it right back to you because
okay.
after we were done talking about the business planning and whatnot, which we're going to get to, but I'm going to jump all the way down the page because this is actually a question.
Yeah.
If you were a newer agent to the business
Cool.
or an agent that has not adopted these kind of principles,
What would you do?
And what type of content would you post in the next 30 days or so to at least establish your brand, at least put your stake in the ground and say, I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's 2 answers. If you're somebody who is already closing,
Okay.
what I was going to get at was we're kind of like, I'm not a fucking agent.
Or friend.
Whatever. I'm like an honorary agent at this point. I don't know. But like, so the problem that I see is that we're putting too much out there of what we have for sale.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And I know you have to advertise your listings and I get it. However, I don't see the same amount of effort into the closings. Right. So On the media side, what I love doing is working with more agents. And I keep telling them, your listing videos are awesome, but you also say how you can help people with their credit. You can help people get to the finish line. Did you know this and know that? Well, you can brag about yourself all day long and look at this cool video that I have that shows what I have for sale. You're just a fancy car salesman at that point.
Basically.
However, imagine if I mic'd up your clients and I went to the closing, and instead of you talking about how awesome you are, the clients get to share the experience they had with you. Right? Because I can tell you all day long I'm the shit. Can I? No, I can curse, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, all right, cool. I just can't say
as long as you use it correctly.
A bit ago too.
So
you're the shit, not I'm shitty.
You're right.
Two different things.
Yeah.
You know, you got to use it right.
So I can tell you all day long, here's all the reasons that you should work with me. However, if you're watching testimonial after testimonial, that is the proof and evidence from somebody other than me, someone who worked with me that says, no, this was our experience. Well, now what do you think is going to attract more people?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if your whole mission that you say is helping people and you love the outcome and I'll do anything to get you to the closing table, how come we're not showing more people with the end result?
Yeah.
Right. That's like a trainer who says, I'm going to help everybody lose weight. Look at all the dumbbells that I have and look at all the meal preps, but you never show somebody who made the transition.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So like, here's all the shit that I got for you to buy, but show me proof and give me as many people as possible, equivalent to the Google reviews and stuff like that. But we live in the video world now.
Yeah, you're right.
So give me a real family with their kids sitting there that are running through their room for the first time, that were out front showing what's going on. Get the wife that's crying because she never would have thought she would have been able to get this, or the single mom, or the veteran, right?
Yes.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
Where's the proof? And so I would give the advice to answer that original question. If I'm closing, I'm showing more proof of the closing.
Okay.
Now, if I'm a new agent,
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to say curveball.
Right?
I'd have no closings.
Right. So I have no closings. What should I do? Okay, well, now the content you're creating, sure, you can show a listing here and there, right? Hopefully it's yours.
Right.
But I get it. Sometimes we'll borrow some listings. It's in the brokerage, whatever. But you should be showing everything you're doing to prep yourself to be qualified to help the next person.
Yes.
Right. And so
behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm learning. Here's where I'm going. Here's where I'm investing my time and money because I want to be the best version of me so I could give him or her to you.
Yeah.
Right. And so I realized through all of these trainings that I've been going to that I really love helping people buy a home, or I love helping people sell their home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like taking the difficult transaction and finding a way to be creative.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so if you're not saying, hey, I'm new, you should work with me.
Yeah.
But you're saying, hey, I'm new and here's what I'm doing to get better every day.
Man.
People are going to adapt to that. And all you need is the one person.
That's right.
And then you follow through with the first thing that I said. When you get them to closing,
Amen.
You get the testimonial.
Yeah. And
Right?
you mentioned something
like
that is totally something that we don't think about and think about putting out there. Why? I don't know, but we've all done it. We have ChatGPT make us a script and it's typically on a topic that we don't know much about yet. So it articulates it properly. We're saying the video, but we're doing the video as if we knew this shit already.
Well, that's the
What's
problem.
What's wrong with saying, look what I learned today?
Yeah.
Right. Why?
Being honest.
Because you're equipping yourself.
Yes, sir.
So,
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yes.
that behind the scenes part too. Like for a new agent, like
Yes.
the day in the life of a newer real estate
new
agent or
agent.
something like that.
Right.
But it's still showing you're getting educated, you're getting equipped.
Right.
Yes.
So
Because-
I like that.
Because what are you doing with your time?
Yeah.
Right. So like if you're new, that means you're not transacting yet. And excuse me, that is okay.
Yeah.
But if I'm somebody who is thinking about working with you, and what do we typically do? We want to go to our friends, our family, whatever.
Spheres. Yep.
Well, they only know the version of you prior to getting into the industry.
Good point.
So they know when you fucked up. They know when you slacked. They know that you had 4 jobs before this. Right. And so they're like, well, if I'm going to trust you with this kind of transaction, you have to actually, and not just for Instagram or Facebook, you have to do the actual things to personally develop yourself. So then that way you can get back to the know, like, and trust.
Amen.
Because the version of you that I know, I'm not going to trust you with selling my home or helping me buy a home.
Yeah.
Right. So we think just because, you know, I keep saying we, but that, you know, you go through champions, you go through the
Dylan
training,
is French,
you go whatever.
you guys. We.
You know, that you go through the initial foundational pieces of, okay, I'm now licensed and qualified.
Yeah.
That still doesn't mean anything to people.
No, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like, hey, I got the college degree, but I'm not even in the
career
in the place. So where you lack in experience,
Yeah.
I would expose being new, because you know what also people associate with somebody who's new. Well, you don't have any bad tactics. You don't have any bad
True.
habits.
Yeah.
You're not going to try to get over on me. You're not going to confuse me with terminology, because we're both reading this agreement together and don't know what the fuck it says.
Yeah.
Right. So like we're working through these things. Right. And
Yes.
as you're finding new vendors and stuff like that, you may find out, oh, well, to sell this house, you know, we may want to do pest control and we may want to do this. And I think my broker has somebody that comes and I can facilitate that. Let's learn this thing together. Can actually come to that appointment and make sure that it goes good. Because guess what? If you're not selling, you have nothing but time.
Yep.
And so you can be more intentional with your people in the beginning.
And the topic
very
that
true.
you're discussing right there is something that for years, anybody that comes with this same, not mindset, but it's more so what you're saying, but almost the opposite. The fake it till you make it concept, right? Is what we normally would go to.
Yeah. Fuck that.
But the embrace the I'm new,
Yeah.
but I'm going to take you through my journey.
Yep.
And I mentioned this in the last discussion that I had with Kim Howell, because JC had asked, what advice would you give to a new agent jumping in the business in 2026?
Yeah.
And I led with jump in with your whole ass. Don't do it half-ass.
Yep.
And in order to adopt that type of mentality, that mindset, you've got to be all the way in.
Yeah.
And here's the other problem with that, right? Because you were talking about like ego, you got to drop the ego.
Yeah.
Furthermore, the problem is people are afraid of looking stupid. Right.
Yeah.
And so
That's probably the
they,
most common.
they know they get
thing
into
I
an
get.
industry.
When in actuality, they get the most views.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do some dumb
Like,
shit, you're going to get a lot of views.
like in the beginning of anything, like I'll even give my own,
Yeah.
you know, I still to this day will get people that will see me and be like, what do you mean you're holding a camera? I thought you do correct. Like what? And so in the beginning, my videos weren't as good as they are now.
Sure.
In the beginning, my photos were not as good as they are now. In the beginning, I could not creatively direct somebody to make them feel comfortable as good as I can now.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about fitness, when we're talking about new business, no matter what you're trying to do, you have to be okay with looking stupid first.
Yeah.
Because when you're brand new into it, people are going to have all of their thoughts of you. And they're going to be like, there's no way this guy's going to do it. Or, wow, I can't believe he or she posted that. And that's normal, but most people won't start the thing or do it at the
Yeah.
level they need to because they're afraid of that. They're afraid of the blowback.
That's a good point.
Right. And it's like,
Good point.
but at the end of the day, the advice for those of you, like if that hit and you're like, man, that is kind of me a little bit. Well, take it again as somebody, I was brand new here. Nobody knew me, for credit.
Right.
And then now people are still adopting the idea that I'm holding a camera.
Yeah.
But once my shit got good because I put the reps in anyway, now the like little like bickering and whatever has turned into, hey, Dylan, do you have availability this
Haters become
weekend to do
fans.
whatever?
Yes, sir.
Right. And the thing is, you didn't give the people a reason to believe in you yet because you're new.
Yeah.
So you have to expose everything and stop trying to fake it till you make it
Good
because
point.
people smell it all day long.
Absolutely.
That's true.
And in addition, technology is way too readily available in 2026 to be telling lies, myths, partial truths, misperceptions. They're going to Google it. They're going to ChatGPT it right in front of you and you're going to look like a fool. It's true.
And then immediately now everything you say after that, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna
Like, you
You're gonna
immediately,
write it off.
you immediately
That's so true.
disassociate.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So that's some good groundwork. So we're going to, JC, I would imagine we probably got maybe 20 minutes left to fill a full hour of, right?
We're about 32 minutes in.
Okay, very good. We're good.
Yeah.
So now that we have laid, I'm going to call a foundation of who we're talking to. We're
Yeah.
talking to newer agents. We're talking to veteran agents that are looking at themselves in the mirror going, okay, we're going to try this again this year.
Mhm.
What do I do first?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to throw it over to
Yeah.
you, AJ. What does your beginning of the year look like, or does the beginning of the year start at the end of the year type concept?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just starting right now for the beginning of the year, you're already behind. So,
Absolutely.
the goals all start at the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
but
in the better late than never.
Better late than never, for sure. You just got to get the ball rolling now. But no, if I'm a brand new agent and now I'm one thing that I would say for new agents with getting the ball rolling now is first identify what the goals are, right? If you don't even know how to set goals, get with someone in your brokerage that has set goals, ask around and kind of latch onto them, right? I would say to a brand new agent, get with the rookie of the year from the brokerage from this past year. Get with the agent of the year. That's what I did when I was a brand new agent. I latched on to the agent of the year. I got rookie of the year. And so coincidentally, we got real close because we had the same work ethic, the same drive, and so
or at least you wanted to adopt what they were doing. Does that make sense? Like, don't go through the motions of being with this person that they're on it.
Exactly.
And there's a reason why they're on it.
Exactly.
They may have not told you what their drive is or what their passion comes from. But they're doing it. So don't just go through the motions with them, because then you're going to become a burden. You
don't want to get in their way.
There you go. Okay, continue.
I would say that figure out some goals, right? Get the goals. So that way you have that outline game plan of, okay, this is what I want to do by the end of the year. How am I going to get there? Right? How am I going to do that? And so identifying those goals, but then now putting place into action, right? And so if I'm a new agent, again, I'm going to go to, okay, let me identify who are the people that I know, like, and care about me the most.
Yes, sir.
Right? If I'm brand new, then I'm going to lead on to, where do I live? Right? Maybe start with that area that I live in and start farming, right? Identify a good neighborhood that you can maybe start farming. But more importantly, you want to have a schedule set up for yourself.
Amen.
And so I'm talking to the newer full-time agents, right? Because it's a little bit tougher for a newer part-time agent. But for a newer full-time agent, you want to set up a schedule for yourself of what you're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. But then also the hours of those days. What am I doing? Right. And so get all that together first. So that way you have a clear mind of what you're attacking, not just shooting in the dark. And then figure out what your weaknesses are and figure out what your strengths are. What do you enjoy doing versus what do you feel uncomfortable doing?
Sure.
And so I always tell agents, whether they're seasoned or new, when it comes to goal setting and beginning your year, starting your year, you always want to start off with the things you're comfortable with, right? Because those are your strengths. That's what's going to help you stay on track or get on track versus just scrambling in the very beginning. And so until you can, in that first quarter, that second quarter, where you're either on pace of your goal or ahead of your goal, that's where I say shift over to your weaknesses now. Right. Okay. And so that way you can be performing and propelling at all different angles rather than just sticking to what you're comfortable with.
I'm going to add, and it's not an interjection or anything like that. It's just an add. I love the idea of determining what the strengths and weaknesses are, but I use the weaknesses a little bit differently, at least in my personal life and production and management and all that. I try, if at all possible, if any of those weaknesses can be automated, delegated to anyone. Because if I'm not good at something, I'm not going to spend the time that I could be spending on the things that I am very good at, which will in turn increase everything else. For sure. To go spend time learning how to do something that I know I'm not good at. And if I'm not good at it, chances are I probably don't enjoy it either. I agree with you 100% when it comes to like delegating and leveraging, right? If you have the ability, if you have the flexibility in regards to financial, with your finances, absolutely. And just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen out there, we're in 2026 where automation, that kind of stuff, it's not expensive. It just takes the time for you to set it up. Truly.
So sticking with that. And then, finding an accountability partner, right? So that's why I said, go to the rookie of the year in your office, go to the agent of the year in your office, and start, if they're not going to welcome you in to be side by side with them to shadow, then just pay attention to what they do. Start looking at what they do and don't try to reinvent the wheel. But those are going to be the more important factors in laying your foundation at the beginning of the year to get yourself going. And then once you're steadily working on your performance of what you're doing to close these transactions, at that point, now you want to start identifying, okay, what am I really enjoying? What am I not enjoying? And how can I make myself better at the things that I'm not enjoying? Like you said, leveraging it or delegating it if we could, or automating it.
Sure.
And then just taking it from there at that point, one step at a time. But you got to be careful as an agent to not, like, we have all these ideas and then we just want to implement all of them, but then we get fried, right? Because we're just like, oh, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do because I'm just so overwhelmed right now. And just one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Start one thing at a time.
And that happens quite often. It really does. If you try and, matter of fact, it happened to me recently. Co-founder of LoanBot, jumping into, at the end of 2025, we're launching. I'm having to jump on demos. I'm talking with mortgage company owners.
Expos.
I'm going all over the country. And then meanwhile, I still have to produce.
Yeah.
I still have to continue to try and recruit
hats.
loan officers. Man, it bottlenecked.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, guys, I'm going to take a break from this. I'm going to delegate that if possible, but I need to focus on this.
Yeah.
And just come to a realization that what moves the needle more at this point, and what can you compromise on to give up in order to obtain what that goal was.
It's funny you say that, man, because one of my goals for this year is that I'm going to do 20 transactions.
Okay.
And so it's fun. I'm still trying to get used to saying that, dude. I've been telling my agents, I'm like, I'm coming for you this year. You know? but you know, it also kind of reminds me in a sense too of how much I've humbled myself throughout the years and matured, because if I would have said 20 transactions out of my mouth, 6-7 years ago, I'd be like, bro, how am I going to make it? Because I was doing 80 to 100 transactions at that time. But now being able to, like you, wearing multiple hats with dealing with recruitment and dealing with running the operations of the office and helping out the other offices. And then, let me produce some transactions too. Yeah. It's going to be a hurdle. That's why I said it at 20, but I would be happy with 20, believe it or not. And so yeah, man, it's being able to, it's giving myself that new thing of, okay, let me continue to figure out how am I going to balance out work-life balance with adding this new thing, this new goal that I'm going to work on for this year. While on top, I just became president for NAREP San Antonio.
Boom,
so that's
congratulations.
another thing that I'm taking on this year as well.
We got us a Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's funny. I want to read y'all this quote because I love the quote you said earlier, man.
Yeah, please do.
Dang, I don't have my glasses on right now, but
take your time.
There was this quote I saw yesterday and I was like, man, that's so true. It's speaking to me. It says, maybe you don't realize how well you are doing because you keep raising the bar. And I was just like, man, because I am guilty of not, people are like, aren't you proud of everything? I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've truly ever embraced it because it's like, I'm always just giving myself something new. Like, what else can we do?
I'm going to add some grace to that because I'm right there with you with that. I'm sure you are as well. Mm-hmm. It's not that we are not being proud of where we are, but we feel as though the job's not done.
The job's not done, man.
It's just not done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can be proud of it, but it better be pretty temporary because
you get complacent.
Absolutely.
And not only
not only the complacency piece to it, but I don't have time to be proud of that right now.
So it's funny you say that because it kind of reminds me of, I was listening. I love Patrick Bet Davis.
Oh my God.
So I listen to stuff all the time.
Yes, sir.
I didn't agree necessarily with everything he was saying in this last investing video that I was listening to on the way over here.
What did he say?
But he was, oh man, that's a whole nother, we can go down that. But one of the things that he said, not to me, but on this thing was,
he was speaking.
It was for an investing. I felt it, but he was saying, that why not go after making as much money as you can right now while we are in our primal years, right? Our prime years, not primal, our prime years right now. And I'm just like, that's so true. Not saying that we're making money the center of our attention, center of our focus and everything like that, but more so of like, I have the health, I have the energy, I have the ability right now to go after making as much as I can right now, so that when I'm in my 50s, 60s, and 70s, I'm probably not going to have that same energy, ability, time, whatever it may be, health, where I can still go after that. So do it now. I'm not saying I'm in my prime because I think I'm past my prime a little bit, but in regards to my health and ability to do things, yes.
And at least at that point where you get to your 50s, et cetera, you at least have the choice
Choice
to say, I'm going to continue doing what I
Or
love, or hey, it's time to hang it up, or I'm going to bestow this upon someone else,
Yeah.
what have you. But at least you have the choice.
Yeah.
And that choice was created by the efforts that you put in today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly.
Two quick things.
Yeah.
I used to do the same thing a lot with talking about like when people would say like, I cannot tell you the amount of people that have said things like, you already got it. Slow down. You don't need to do another class. You don't need to do another whatever. Yeah. And so another one of those, this is a very simple one, but it's still a heavy hitter, is consider the source.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that, especially for the last 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Anybody who gives me any advice, I'm not looking at their intention. I'm not looking at what it could be good intention.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes our parents, our spouses, they have good intention and they think they know, right?
I feel as though they all mean well.
Right. Yeah. They all mean well because they spent the time to give the advice, right? Because there's a difference of advice versus criticism.
Yes.
And so they have good intent. But when I say consider the source, it doesn't make the person a bad person. But would I trade lives, not just in that category, but in every single category of what I'm working on? And so they could be a great person, but if I don't agree with it because, hey, if I think like you and take your advice, would I end up like you?
That's
and
so good.
If you get offended by that, you know you don't like you either.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like, and I'm not saying bad person, whatever, but like, hey, if I take that advice and your ideologies and everything you give me, I would end up like you. Do you think I'd be in a better or worse position?
Right.
That's true, man.
And so when people tell you, like, cause I know they're just looking out like, hey dude, you've been rocking it for a while. Like you can chill out or like, you know, just, you don't have to go that hard, whatever.
Yeah.
Just think in your mind, like, well, if I take that person's advice and I don't go hard like they don't go hard, would I be happy ending up like them?
Yeah.
Because their thoughts and actions and decisions have brought them to where they are today. So if you would right now change your stuff with them, take the advice. If you want it, I want it. And
butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Right? One thing changes another. That's
true.
And then the secondary piece I just had, damn it.
I'm so good looking.
There was something else that you said that made me really, what was the last thing you guys were just talking
about the idea. JC, play that back. I'm just kidding.
I'm on it. Because of the health, the energy, the prime, being in your prime.
Being able to have the choice later in life.
So the first is consider the source, which we got out of the way. The secondary piece about making the money and all of that.
Yes.
So you'll notice we all do this because I picked up when I heard it. And I again, do the same thing sometimes. I'm not perfect. But I feel like sometimes we try to get like, we don't want a negative comment if we do say, hey, I do want it to be about the money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I don't care what anybody says outside of like certain health and stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
But for 99% of the world's problems,
that's right.
Money does solve it.
Yeah. You ever seen a broke person on a dolphin?
Yeah. Like
I haven't either, but I've ridden one.
You know, and like for life's enjoyments, yes. But like, you know, there's always that one person, right? Oh, that's what I want to say. So there's that one person who's gonna rebuttal with like, oh, you guys are really talking about money like that, blah, blah, whatever. Again, so the first thing is consider the source, right? Yeah. And then here's the last one. People outwardly project what they're in deficit of. Ooh, right? And so if they're highlighting and take what you say negative, that you do want to make as much money as possible. Because again, you do have a family, you do have people you have to look out for, you do have a business that you built. And then the compound effect is all of those agents that are with you have families that they have to put food on the table for. And then you have the consumers that you guys are helping, right? So, so many people rely on you to actually think that way because it creates jobs, it gives people homes, it pays the bills, it feeds people. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with making the direct focus about money if you have a good intent on how you're going to distribute it and give it to people, right? True. Because what does a church do? When you're tithing, that's fine, right? And then if the church is doing the right thing with the money and it takes care of the people, that's a good thing, right? So like, why is it bad? And it's usually because the people around you don't have a good relationship with money. So when they hear you talk about it and they know they're in deficit of, they start to judge you because that takes it off of them. But all that is them holding a mirror to you like, yo, stop talking about money because I can't contribute to that conversation the same way.
Relate. Yeah.
So I feel weird and we need to change the subject.
That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's so true.
It is.
That's so true.
That was damn good from both of you. So, okay. So as we try to cap this thing off, I want to leave the folks with some real shit that we actually do.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you guys, because we just went through it.
Yeah.
There was a changing of the year.
Yeah.
What are some things that you either before 2026, leading up to it, or immediately after that you put in place for your business to kickstart? And it can be anything from your business plan to setting up the automation, all of the different things. If you could just go through, list some of them.
Yeah. So for me specifically, what I would say is, I first thing I think about is our company calendar, right? Because it's like, okay, we got to plan out all the trainings coming up. We got to plan out all our events coming up in the first quarter. So getting all those things in line, and I mean, going even deeper, right? Getting budgets and things like that. Where's the money going to come from?
Right.
To pay for these things. But just so that we have a clear picture going into the beginning of the year of not only where we stand, but where are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we wanting to go? Where's the plan to get to?
And let me ask you this: do you use the concept? Because I personally still do to this day. Is you start with the end in sight.
Yeah.
What do you want your 2026 to look like?
Yes.
Okay, now what the hell do I got to do to get there?
For me, it's always like I've been looking at it already the past few months of how do I want 2026 to end?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know where it's going to start, or I know where I plan for it to start, because those things were already set and planned, in September, October,
Okay.
and so now it's transition November, December and now January of where do I want 2026 to end?
Yeah.
How do I want it? How do I want 2026 to end?
That makes
So
sense.
I agree 100% with that. Yeah. You got to know what the end destination looks like.
Correct.
If you plan on getting there. So,
Yeah. And there, guys, what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to pry out of these two is there are so many things that within our industry, our job role, job description, whatever you want to call it, responsibilities that we can control.
Yeah.
Then there's a ton of other things that I can't even go down the rabbit hole to list
I can tell you
that we can't control.
Past
That are
24
going
hours
to-
for me.
That's
have
right.
been things I couldn't control.
Those things are gonna come up
Yeah.
throughout the year, regardless of how well we structured our business plan up front. We tried to uncover and determine what we can control. So if you're going into 2026 not knowing what you can control that will move the needle, or your, let's call it non-negotiables to get to your end goal of 2026, how are you even going to take on these things that you can't control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's up?
You're up.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah. 2026. What did you jump into? What did you set up? What did you make sure was set in place before that sucker?
To make it very simple,
Yeah.
so people don't use the excuse they always do of that sounds really complicated and I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
You can focus on goals all day long, and goals matter.
Sure.
But part of the roadmap on how I have helped myself actually achieve those is habits, right? So people don't talk enough about habits.
Yeah.
Right. And so the simple answer is if I change my habits, right, then I can get myself where I want to go, because we know if the goal is to get further than where we are, that requires us to change.
Yes.
Right. And so you have to have an honest assessment of your habits. Earlier, when we were off cam, we were talking about how like JC lost like 20 pounds
Heck
already.
yeah. Shout out
Right?
JC.
And so like that people are dropping weight because they're dropping drinking. What you're actually doing is you're forming a new habit.
Yeah.
Right. And that new habit is showing you a positive outcome, which gives you a belief that I have the ability to make these positive changes. And you're now experiencing the outcome you prefer. And once you do it once, you start looking at everything and you rinse and repeat. So you look at your habits that suck. you're honest with yourself and say, okay, if I keep these habits, I'm going to either stay where I am or fall back.
Yep.
Because what are the ones that serve me and move me forward? And what are the ones that are keeping me where I am?
Yeah.
Right. So dropping the drinking, dropping anything that is not keeping you clear and focused and giving you the energy to perform professionally.
Correct.
Right. Should be dropped. Right. That's also proximity of who you're around. What conversations are you going to entertain? The controllables are, what am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I putting between my ears? How am I spending my time? And so if you know that none of those serve you to get further, but you don't choose to change them, then you know you're not going to hit that 2026 goal. So it's good to say, here's my goal, but here's why you also need to look at the habits that you change.
Yeah.
Because you're then going to have a self-belief, because you experienced it, that I have the ability to be adaptable and make a change, because we know the reality of the plan is we could plan it all day long, but we know it's not going to go according to plan.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so are you the person that as soon as the plan fucks up, you throw it all away because it didn't go according to plan?
Yeah.
Or if you learn to always, and not all your habits, I'm not saying, oh, get 10 new habits, start with one.
Yeah.
Right? Start with one and then move into 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 5. When you understand, you become the person who has the ability to adapt to something you did not plan for, because you can't plan for everything.
Correct.
That is the person that actually wins. You know how many times that in the beginning I've been on a shoot and there was something with a camera setting I didn't know. What am I going to do? Hey guys, we got to go home.
Back it up.
Right? I had to adapt. When I had a conversation with somebody about credit and like a random late payment popped up in the middle of the process, I didn't know what to do until I learned what to do. Right? And then I always had the answer. And then, so you have to not worry about planning to perfection, because you'll never make progress towards it. But if you focus on the habits more than the goals, and it's very simple, this habit, does it get me closer or further away?
Yeah.
It's closer. I keep that one.
Yeah.
This one's going to be really hard because fuck, I love door dashing. Right. So, right. So like if that's the vice, if that's the thing,
That's
again,
true.
I'll just example. Okay. Does this serve me and get me closer to saving the money to move out to do the thing or whatever the goal is?
Yes.
Does it move me closer or further away? Man, this one's going to suck. But you know what? If I can accomplish this, I can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
That's probably how some people felt about drinking when they finally dropped it.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So just focus on your habits, because that's what I do. Right. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. There's still things I fuck up on, but I'm okay with it because I know it's not always going to go according to plan. But if I build the man, this is my last quote, I promise.
You're good.
And I'll say, I guess, man or woman or person, whatever. But typically in this sense, I would say, build the man you admire and give that man to the world. Right.
Dang.
So
I love
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
and so in habits, I'm building the man.
Yes.
Right. And so if I have the habits of the man that I admire and I give that version of me to the people around me, what do you wind up doing just in that proximity? People either wean themselves out or they adapt to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if I'm never picking up a drink and you're drinking around me and I bully you and make fun of you for drink, eventually you're going to drop it or you're going to drop me.
That's right.
And either of those are okay.
Yeah.
Because I won't fold to what you're doing because I work so hard to change my habits.
Well, you're bringing up something that I don't have on here, but it is absolutely something that I consider heavily when creating my business plan and just doing anything, is the interior and exterior forces that are working against you.
Yep.
And when I'm talking about the controllables, non-controllables, a lot of the interior forces are totally controllable.
Yeah.
100%. Build a man and the plan will follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
What time do I wake up every day? What do I do when I wake up? Et cetera. Those types of things. Go through your day as a human to go, all right, the shit that I'm doing on a regular basis, what is working against me?
Yeah.
And I don't even know it, but it's a moment for you to be honest with yourself, because the outcome only affects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
This is what I saw on Instagram. So it wasn't me. I didn't like make this up.
Hey,
or whatever.
if you stole it from us, you
Yeah.
stole it twice.
Yeah.
No biggie. No biggie.
But it was something to the effect of, if someone followed you around for an entire week, 24 hours a day, would they think you're serious about your goals in your life, or what would they think about you? I'm talking about 24 hours a
That's
day.
right.
If they followed you for 1 week straight, what would they think about you after that?
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if
a good
anybody's religious out there, someone's looking down on you always.
So one thing I want to plug into what you're talking about with habits is that book, Atomic Habits.
Yes,
I love
Dude,
that. Yeah.
that book is so good. So everything you were
It's in there
saying was reminding me of that book. So yeah, man, totally agree with that.
I do. And I think the last piece that I want to talk about is consistency. It's something that we as high achievers, heavily motivated, high driven people, it's also difficult for us to be consistent.
Yeah.
I don't want people out there to think that, oh, they pick up a new habit and that's it. They adopt it. Hell no. It is very difficult. And those new habits that we pick up, they're intended to be habits, not something that's a one-off. And I'll give the silliest example, but every morning I jump in that damn cold plunge. And it is, oh my God, I've been consistent like nobody's business. And now it's like a drug. I have to do that to start the day, or the day is, well, it's honestly, I don't know. I've just been doing it. So every day I know that it's going to suck as soon as I get up in the morning, but chances are there's nothing that I'm going to go through today that's going to suck as bad as this.
Yeah.
At least physically and mentally, it takes both. But getting into that habit is baby steps. You've got to get an accountability partner, somebody that you truly will believe that is going to hold you accountable, not to be your friend, not your friend, but somebody that wants the success as much as you do or close to. It's very tough to find somebody that wants your success as bad as you do.
Very true.
Yeah.
In many cases, you've got a manager, a leader that wants their success your success more than you do. That's very rare.
Yeah, that's a different topic.
Different topic.
I remember the one thing, and I promise I'll keep it under like a literal 15 seconds, but it was about the being driven, right?
Okay.
And so, and you don't feel it, you move on, you move the goalpost. Again, thought the same way until I realized this. I forgot who told me, but it made sense. It was Andy Frisella. The reason that the driven people move the goalpost and don't celebrate the same way is because when your habits are in line and you did everything according to plan, you expect to win.
Good
Right?
point.
So
Very good
like,
point. Wow.
you expect the outcome because that's what you work towards. But again, the normal people or the people that don't think or operate that way, of course, like, why aren't you celebrating? Why aren't you going? Why aren't you living it up? You just did this big thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you planned it and developed the habits for it and stuck to it the entire time, you expect the outcome, which is why we don't have the same reaction.
Yeah.
And we say, well, now that I've gotten this far, I know exactly what I need to do to the next thing.
In addition to that, speaking for all of us, correct me if I'm wrong, but our goals at the beginning of the year, we face adversity every single day, all day. We just make it through it. You don't see us putting out, matter of fact, example, yesterday, I had to drive up to Austin first thing in the morning. And as I was leaving my neighborhood, which is right down the street, boom, I had my first actual blowout. It's like the tire exploded.
Oh shit.
Scary.
And I'm like, well,
the kids with you?
no, it was me.
Good.
First thing in the morning, I had to get here about 6:30 in the morning. So I'm like, all right, what do we do now? Do I just chalk it up as this day sucks? No, hell no. You ride that fucking rim till you get to the office. You park that son of a gun. You figure out another way to get your butt to Austin, and you deal with that later. And I posted a video on my story talking, like showing, like, did not plan for this. I'm changing a tire at the end of the day, but you don't see me going, oh my God, I got to change this tire. Why did it happen to me? But no, you do the damn thing. You move on.
That's so true.
Bitch.
That's right.
It's funny you say that. That's what I'm saying. My past 24 hours have been crazy, dude. Yesterday, I went to the gym for the first time in I don't know how long, and knocked out my workout. I locked my key left my key fob in my truck, locked myself out from 6 p.m. till 9:30 at night. I was there with the locksmith waiting to get in my truck. Finally got in. The fob didn't work as we thought. So I had to get another guy to come out to reprogram my truck. I get home. It's 10:30 now. Yeah, it was just.
In that instance, I guarantee not once did you go, woe is me.
No, because I was laughing it off with even the locksmith was kind of like, dude, I'm surprised you're calm. I was like, well, I just had a workout too, bro. So I'm kind of relaxed right now. But at the same time, I'm just like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. All right, it's getting a little cold, but we're going to figure it out.
Sometimes I will look up and go, bring it on. Bring it on. So guys, this has been a pretty solid discussion. And before we end, JC, throw this up on the screen real quick, because Dylan said something that I wanted to fact check, and turns out he's on the money. I said, are there any studies that show that people's outwardly projecting what really their feelings are in their current situation and trying to give advice to others? yes, there are several well-studied psychological effects showing that when people give advice, they often, sometimes without realizing it, use themselves, their beliefs, emotions, and current state as a reference point, which can look like projection. And it's on the money. And then it goes into all the different moods and things of that nature. But just wanted to tell you guys that us on this show, we're not pulling shit out of thin air. We're literally experienced stories, experienced situations that are coming to fruition here. Hopefully you guys take something from that. Sure. As we close this out, guys, I want to give you a moment to give us anything we didn't talk about that you'd like to address.
Yeah, let me throw a nugget for those new agents in the business, as well as seasoned agents.
Yeah,
I think I've even talked to you about it before, man. That it was an idea that I thought of that I just never implemented, but I'm still considering it myself. So here's a free nugget that you can implement right now that I don't really see many people doing. I see a few on YouTube, but get yourself subscribed with Inman News.
Okay.
And if you're a new agent and you don't know what to talk about, you don't want to sound like you don't know what you're saying, get yourself on Inman News and get subscribed every single morning.
Throw it up,
I get an email. It's called a hot sheet.
Yep.
And they send you articles every single morning, and they're trending articles on there. It's a non-biased platform for the real estate industry when it comes to real estate news. And we're talking about mortgage rates. We're talking about, agents in the business, statistics, all sorts. There's also some juicy drama on there too, between brokerages that are, suing each other. And so there's a lot of good stuff on there. But my point is, if you're an agent that's like, I don't know what to talk about on social media, and you don't want to be that agent that's always just doing the video tours of the properties, get on there, just hit that start button and start going live or press play and start talking about the topics, right? Read them every morning, start looking at the articles, see which ones are good that you enjoyed reading. And then, hey guys, this is AJ Reygadas, want to go live with y'all this morning to talk to y'all about this article that I read. And I always tell people, you want to be the source, or you want to be the source, not the resource.
Yeah.
Right. And so more so, don't just post an article and tell them to go read it. Be that person that's giving them the information. So that way you can read it. And now you're portraying it out to everybody, what you just discovered or what you just read. Now if you're that newer agent, now you're going to have that family and friends say, okay, he's taking this serious, or man, he seems like he knows what he's talking about, I guarantee you, new agents, you're not going to be getting that question of how long you've been in the business when you start doing stuff like that, because now you are being the source, the person with all the information. And that's an easy alley-oop on how to get that. So,
as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring up that concept of fake it till you make it. Newer agents in the business, you don't have that learned experience just yet. So doing something like you're talking about here is at least showing others that you are putting in the work to pull out information from something that was put in front of you to provide to them. Now they can choose whether or not that they end their absorption from what you said, or they take the next dive, but guarantee the next time they jump on social media or what have you, they'll probably see another one of your educational yet enlightening posts. And over time, with the idea of consistency, you may build a brand around it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Dylan, what you got to close us off with?
I'll go a little bit more on that. So there's at least a handful of people that just heard exactly what to do. Right. So the first thing is you no longer have the excuse of I don't know what to do. Right. So now that we can all clear the air and say there are 4 witnesses that have proof that you now know what to do, because when you view and we see you viewed it, we know you watched it at some point. And if you got to the end, now you cannot say you don't know what to do.
Good point.
So eliminate the excuse there. The second part is, well, okay, I know what to do, but I'm afraid because what if my opinion on said topic, somebody disagrees with it?
That's the whole point.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Get them engaged.
So one of 2 things will happen. You'll have people that agree with your outlook and your opinion, and they're going to be like, that's my guy, that's my girl. And they're going to look for the next video.
Right.
You're also, and this is kind of what you hope for, is you get the other person that hates it.
Yeah.
Right. And they disagree. Because you know what people do when they disagree?
They let you know.
And they also try to recruit other people to disagree also. Right. So they're going to go make their post and be like, look at this fucking idiot saying this and this. Right. And then, but to your point of consistency, if you're developing more content and you're speaking from your perspective and your opinions, well, you know how many times I've had people say to me, again, because guys, this is experience. Wow, you're actually not a dick. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm actually not? Right?
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Right? So it's like, oh, you're
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, like you're actually not a dick. And I'm like, it depends on the, but what do you mean?
Yeah, wait a minute.
You know, and they're like, well, I've heard some things, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, people who say things like that is like victims.
Yes.
Right. So like when somebody doesn't like confrontation, or someone that has a strong opinion, or someone who speaks factual, when it's something opposite, people are afraid of what they don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so the easiest thing is they try to just like say something negative about it.
Yep.
Right. That happened with AI. That happens with people. Like when they don't know, they just rather call it negative because they don't understand.
They wish they were smart enough to be a dick like you.
Right. Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
But you're right, man, because it makes me think too, like it helps your algorithm.
100%.
That's why you see a lot of these podcasts. People are like, hey, if you don't agree with me, tell me why. You know, they want you to interact.
Because who's going to be more vocal?
Yeah.
The keyboard warrior that's also going to recut that clip to make it sound like what they want it to be in their perception. And they're going to try to get all these people to agree with them. Yeah. But every single time I've done something that maybe somebody didn't like.
Yeah.
Because I've done that a lot. Right. So, so when that has happened, every single time I've gotten more business.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no such thing as negative publicity.
Right.
When there's anyone that can tell you about that, that's me too.
All of us here.
I get it all.
It's true. All of us here.
Like, and so I love that part. So I guess to put a bow on it, the advice that I'm trying to give is, you say you want to build this big thing. You say you have these goals. You have these aspirations for 2026. It's finally going to be your year and all that shit that you say to feel good.
Yeah.
Well, if you change your habits and actually apply the action, and you're bold enough to step into this person you claim to be, that shit should not scare you. And I can promise you that if you do those things, you will have a completely different year than what you expect in a good way.
Oh, that's very true. That is very true. And it's only up to you to determine whether you're going to jump in or dip your toe in.
Yeah, don't be a
type
bitch.
Concept. And kind of to add to what you're talking about with algorithm and with social media and the post and the argumentative and this and that, PBD did studies, or at least brought it to the forefront, that more than half of the accounts on social media are robots. Just so you guys know. So if you're like, oh, I don't want people to see it, chances are half of them won't, and half of them aren't even real. So stop it.
And stop giving yourself so much credit as somebody who barely posts that you think so many people are going to see it.
Yes.
How about that part?
Yeah.
Like,
because it takes time.
Right. You know how hard it's like. You ever get somebody like, sorry, babe, but like, like you ever have like, your spouse or whoever just be like, oh, well, I don't want to go to Jake's. I don't want to get too big. You know how hard I've been trying to get too big? For how long I've been trying to get like just massive? You think you're going to go one fucking day and all of a sudden you're going to be the Hulk?
Yes.
Like, oh, no, I'm going to go and do cardio because I don't want to lift a dumbbell and have 22-inch arms. Yeah. Like, you know how hard I've been trying to do that? So like, and this is as funny as it is, this correlates to everything. Well, I'm afraid of exposing too much on social media. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Like, I understand safety concerns and stuff like that, right? Like I understand that. So that gets a pass. Yeah. But like, oh, I don't want to get too big on social media because what if too many? Shut up. Go get a job
heard
then.
of such a thing.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how hard I've been trying to get millions of views? You know what I mean? That's right. And so like, you mean with my applied effort, you're going to somehow just stumble across 5 million views because you're so much more interesting? Like,
maybe
really?
if you do something really stupid.
Like really? You know what I
So
mean?
true.
So anyway, that's my quick
No,
rant,
that
but-
was awesome, guys. As usual, this is a matter of fact, we'll make it an annual thing
Yeah.
to give these folks out there some act right, and it's from learned experience. We've actually gone through this, and it may seem mundane, but it's not. We may do the same things over and over, but that we know work. Our needle movers, our non-negotiables, and it may seem boring to many. But the piece that's not boring is the things we can't control.
Yeah.
And like I said, it happens throughout our day, all day long.
Yeah.
And it's what makes the differentiator between those that will rise above it or those that will be shut down by it. Truly.
And the ones that do love the boring, sorry to take another thing, but I'm like, oh, fuck, the bang's kicking in. When things get boring, you better get excited,
yeah.
because when things get boring for everybody else, they quit.
Yeah.
When
Good point.
it's mundane,
Yeah.
like even to credit, right? I could have been like, yo, dude, I've been doing this 9 years. I got everything figured out. And I could have quit that to do something else,
Correct.
but I didn't.
Mm-mm.
And so everybody that you talk to that's super successful, it's in the boring.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in the mundane.
Yep.
It's back to earlier when we were talking about scrolling and the dopamine hit and that we need it to be new and fresh. Every time I feel like I'm getting bored of something, I get really excited because I know the people that are doing what I'm doing, when they feel like they're going to get bored because I see how their other habits are,
Correct.
they quit when it gets bored.
Oh, yeah.
Boring. I don't. Because every time it got boring, I knew I'm going to get to that next level. It's
Yeah,
right there.
time to level up, baby.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
That's so true.
Well, guys, gals out there, as usual, the guests are real. The guests come with good intentions always from their learned experiences. I promise to continue to bring you guys more guests just like this, maybe even a little controversy in 2026.
Well, I'm going to be there.
But for the purposes of this discussion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a link in this episode that will take you to a Google Drive folder that will have a simple business plan. It will have a list of needle moving activities that most loan officers do and most realtors do. So if you're new to the industry and you're like, I just don't know what to do, you talk to your broker, he gave you a list of things, go cross-reference it with this list. And if it's on there, chances are they know what the hell they're talking about. Go do it. And then adopt it, make it consistent, and then gauge your outcome so that you can change the levers, increase, decrease the amount of frequency that you do those activities. And hopefully, wishing everybody out there a very prosperous 2026. But that is not without the adversity that is going to come with it. That being said, guys, we will catch you on the next one.
Look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.